Right, I'm back down the lake again. It's the Sunday off, basically, after I left, and I got here about midday. I've pretty much got a friend's birthday party, barbecue type thing, every Saturday throughout the whole of July and August. So I think the days of me getting here on at first light on the Sunday are over. I've got 2 nights this time. I've got to go work early doors Tuesday. And yeah, basically I've got here about midday, like I say, and I've spent the whole day sort of running around basically. It's been really, really windy, so it's made seeing fish hard unless they've sort of stuck their head out. You've not been able to see them really, can't see them cruising, that sort of thing. Like I say, I've been moving around, just trying to get a bite basically. I'd sort of started in the swim I'm in now, moved about a bit, moved back into here about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I started seeing fish about 6 o'clock. Just as the wind dropped, I sort of saw 5 or 6 fish, recast the rods, and just sort of sat here hoping they would go basically. I was sort of falling asleep, kind of, you know, I was shattered. I see a couple of fish show next door and I was starting to think, oh, shall I move? Shall I stay? Sort of didn't really know what to do. And the left-hand rod was away. And that basically resulted in a koi, sort of a big white common, about 20 pound. It's a rare one for the lake, so nice to put a hook in him. And I've probably seen that fish. I've been fishing here on and off for sort of, this is my 3rd season, and I've seen him pretty much every single trip I've done. Obviously where he's white is the easiest one to find. So yeah, nice to put a hook in him, I suppose. And yeah, so I was going to move, sort of, when I put the fish back, they started showing to my right again, and I was going to move. Sort of took my kit next door, then they started showing back in front of this swim. And basically there's a big snag down to the right of the other swim that I'm a bit scared of. So if I don't have to fish that swim, I don't, because they are prone to kiting into that snag. So I'm in here for the night. Seen a few in the last hour or so. Big fish went over about 10 minutes ago, out to my right. But yeah, you know, I'll do the night here as always. If nothing happens throughout the night, I'll reassess in the morning, have a few moves, see where I end up, I suppose. But till then, cross my fingers, hopefully catch myself another one. Well, I had an uneventful nighttime period, but I did lose a fish at 7:30 this morning. Unfortunately, you know, I had it on for probably 5 or 6 minutes, and it just dropped off as I was starting to gain on it. Just fell off. So yeah, I don't think it was a stocky, but who knows what it was, you know. Not very pleased about losing it, I must say. So yeah, I stayed in the swim, probably till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I saw a couple of fish show out to my left, sort of out of my water really, so I moved around into that swim. So I had a little time in there. See another couple while I was around there. But I had to nip home at some point to get some water and gas, so I shot off about 5 o'clock when I got that sorted, came back down, put the rod straight back out in that swim, and basically just sat there watching the water. After about 20 minutes, half hour, started to see fish showing in front of the swim I'm in now, which is the swim I did last night in as well. So, you know, I had a bite yesterday even from here, and I had one this morning as well. So it's worth being back in here, I think. And since I've got the rods back out, oh, that's a bite. Jesus. Oh. Well, the rod's still missing. Carp is not missing, but look at it. I've only gone and caught the other koi. There's 2 of them in here, a white and an orange one. They're both probably once, twice a year fish. I don't think this has been out for over a year. And you see them every day, and I've just gone and caught them in the same session. Mental. Weird. I can't quite believe it, but there's another one in there. I put the orange one back, and then, I don't know, half hour later it's gone again. And it's a decent looking common. you probably guessed, another uneventful nighttime period. I'm just not getting bites at night doing what I'm doing, so I'm probably going to have a little change of tactics, I think, for the night time. What I'm doing in the day is working, but yeah, I need to be getting bites at night as well, ideally, you know. I've had a wicked session again. I've had 4 bites, landed 3, with a couple of right characters amongst them, I'm sure you'll agree. But the fish I had last night was 18.5 pounds. He looked a bit bigger than that, but yeah, he's had a little spawn out. Lovely fish. Yes, so that was a result. Fish I did see a few after that fish, but I think they sort of moved up the lake really. The wind was smashing down here right through till sort of the early hours of the morning. It did drop off, and this morning it sort of picked back up again. So yeah, it's looking good. Do like it with this wind down here, but I've got to go to work, so that's the end of the session. Hopefully one will rip off just while I pack my last me bits away, and I'll be back on Monday. It's my missus' birthday on the Sunday, so I lose the Sunday, but I'll be back Monday. Might even pop down at some point in between, but until then, I gotta go home. It's been about 2 weeks since I last spoke to you. My last session that you'll remember will be, probably we've just watched actually, which will be when I caught the koi's. Basically I went home after that session, came back a couple of days later, I think it was the Thursday night that week, dropped in the stream I'm in now, and the fish went absolutely mad that night. Did get a couple on film. They just went bonkers. Like, I've not seen them show that much probably all year. I've seen them do it in the past, but like that particular night they really did go crazy, and I saw loads everywhere out in front of this swim. Yeah, caught nothing. So packed up the next morning, went to work. I was planning to come back on the Sunday. Weatherman said we're going to have a big weather front come in, you know, low pressure rain, perfect summer weather, especially for a deep lake like this. You know, the deeper the water is, the better it will fish when the good weather comes, you know. These long periods of hot weather are not particularly good for the bottom fishing, especially on here. So really looking forward to that, but unfortunately I did my back in. I don't quite know what the term for what I did was, but I basically like slipped a disc into my spine, which just meant I was out of action for a week, laid up in bed. So I missed the weather, didn't fish for the whole week. Basically I came back down on Sunday. It's now Tuesday. I got here Sunday. It's been really windy, so I haven't been able to talk. I haven't got a microphone for the camera, so you wouldn't have heard anything other than wind up until now. Yeah, got down here Sunday, didn't see a lot in the morning. I see a couple, and set up in this swim here, 2 rods out, right out to the left hand side of the swim, basically because I wanted to bait up an area sort of straight out in front of here. I didn't want to, while I was baiting that up, I didn't want to wreck my chances on the fishing rod. So got a lot of bait out in the middle, something I haven't done yet this year really. I haven't been catching at night, so I thought, well, if I put a load of bait out, at least I can sit on it overnight and we'll see what happens. So far I've done 2 nights over it and I've not had a sniff other than a bream. Yeah, so first day, I've moved about a fair bit, you know. I put this bait in here, still walking around seeing what I could find, and not a lot really happened. Oh, is that right? Yeah, not a lot happened until sort of quite late on in the day when I found a big shoulder fish up in the sort of corner of the lake. I've never seen them stacked up like that before in here. There must have been, I don't know, there must have been 50 fish here, and there's only about 60 in here, so could all have been there, but there were at least 50 now. There were absolutely loads. Shoals of like 10s and 12s, and like I say, I've not seen them like that before. Grabbed my floater rod, went up there, proceeded to miss 3 fish in about 45 minutes off the top, which I wasn't very happy about. You know, maybe I was a bit rusty for being away for a week or so, but yeah, not good skills that. Anyway, that sort of chance sort of petered out, the fish drifted out a little bit further, and I basically ended up reeling in, coming back to my swim. Just before I put the rods out for the night, I thought, oh, I'll go and check it once more. So I bombed back up there, and a few fish had turned back up. So I went back into the swim, flicked 2 rods out, and within about 10 minutes I had to take right hand rod, picked up into it, could feel the fish on, sort of felt like it was sort of violently shaking its head, and all of a sudden it just cleared the water.
I've only had that happen, I think, probably once. And then all the carp I've ever looked at, I think I've only had one jump out of the water like that. Yeah, it jumped out of the water, and as it left the water, the line fell slack and it came off. It was a good fish as well, you know. It was a common. It was at least 25 pounds, and there's not, you know, I've only had not many commons between sort of 25 and 30 pounds. A few over 30 pounds, but that sort of middle area between about 22 to 30 pounds, pretty much empty as far as commons go. And I reckon he was one of them, up to 20 common probably. So pretty distraught by that, you know. Missed 3, lost 1, and then yeah, that night I got my rods back out, opened my bait, and I caught a bream that night. So it sort of went from bad to worse. And yesterday, it was really strange. Right? That's what I did. I spent the whole day looking. I tried a lot harder to find them than I normally would, because normally I find them quite easily. But yesterday, I couldn't find anything. Right? I didn't see a single fish on the surface. 25 degrees yesterday. Overcast, really windy. We had sort of 20 mile an hour southerlies blowing. But I would still always be able to find fish, you know. And yesterday, I think from about, I see a couple in the morning period. It was a bit calmer in the morning. Throughout the day, I think I only saw three definite shows. Saw a few odd things that could have been bream, and I think were bream. I just didn't know what to do. I was moving around, walking around, looking, and just by the time I come back to my swim last night, I didn't know what was going on. The water's gone really coloured. I don't know if that's put them a bit moody, because they show a lot on you, you know, they do. They're very showy fish, I would call them, you know. They always jump. But yesterday, nothing, dead. Last night, flat calm, dead, didn't see anything. And this morning, I've seen nothing either, so I don't really know what to do. I'm gonna sit here. I might do a large portion of the day in here today. Spent the majority of the day yesterday sort of up the other end, just because I wasn't seeing him in front of me. I thought, oh, they must be up there. But when I'm up there, I can't really see down here, so I'll, yeah, don't really know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try and catch a carp, you know that much. My phone's ringing. Right, so yesterday was a bit of an all-out mission to try and catch one. I stayed in my swim till about 10 o'clock in the morning, wheeled the rods in and then started doing laps at the lake basically. Probably, I think on my third lap sort of that, I found a few fish. On the end of the wind, there was only probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 fish there, but I'd seen so little for the last, you know, couple of days, and I'd looked so hard. I thought, you know, I was absolutely buzzing to see them, and I moved straight away. Just took a couple of rods in a chair, got straight on them, put rods out. Probably had a take within about 15 minutes, I reckon. Didn't take long. Once I was on them, so kind of right by the road now. Yeah, once I was on them, had a take. It's one of them, because I'd lost them the day before, you know, you're playing it thinking, oh, just please don't fall off. Shaking his head all the way in. I thought, even know if it was a carp to start with, it was bouncing that much. But that was a little stocky, about 12 pound little everything, and it hook pulled at the net. So I was obviously a bit distraught. Only a small fish, you know, it's not much worse fish I could have lost, but I've lost 2 out of 2 bites this session. I think there's only been 2 fish caught in the last sort of 10 days, so gutted to have lost them, especially the first one, because that was a big, like, decent sized common. But yeah, obviously nothing to do about it. I got my rods back out anyway. Stayed in that swim for probably another 2 hours. Didn't see anything. They sort of stopped seeing them in that area, and I saw a fish show a couple of swims up, so I moved again, fished in there for probably another 2 hours. Didn't see anything after that. And by that point, I had a good feeling where they were going to be come the evening. So I decided to move, and I moved into the swim I'm in now. I wanted to go in the swim that I was fishing sort of before I'd done my back in, which is next door to it. That's where I wanted to go, but my mate's in there, so I couldn't to do that. Dropped in here, and then yeah, on sort of late evening, that's when they started to show next door. Quite a lot as well. Subtle to start with, and then a few started boshing. That was clearly where they were. And considering I'm only here, I didn't see hardly anything in front of me. It's only 30-40 yards to my left, the other swim. But yeah, nothing's occurred. Didn't hardly see anything last night. Didn't catch anything last night. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to get back now. I think it's the 4th of August today. I'm not going to be able to get back until about the 25th of August. I've got some filming to do in Holland for the Masterclass DVD. So, looking forward to the filming. I'm not looking forward to not being here for a couple of weeks. I just pray to God Biggin doesn't get caught while I'm away. It's well over a year now. Getting on for 2 years since it's been caught off the bottom. So yeah, you know, just don't want it to come out while I'm not there. Every time I go on holiday, my target fish gets caught. It's happened to me a few years in a row at other places, and it's happened here before as well. So fingers crossed that ain't going to happen. If I can get back before the 24th, definitely will. Maybe see if I can speak to the missus to squeeze a night in somewhere. But if the world don't go in the next half hour or so, until then, I'll be in Holland filming Dan and Daryl. Right, try and catch one on this. Here you go. Fresh rig, fresh bait, try again. Go soon. Literally had about 20 minutes to do this. This is going to go mental. Oh, that didn't quite go to plan. Home time. I'm just going to shout it out. Well, here he is, probably about 15, 16 pound
very pleased to get this one. I weren't happy losing one yesterday. And I managed to persuade my missus to let me come back. In fact, she's come with me. Seen her first carp. And I actually took about, I don't know, 5–10 minutes to get this one. They're absolutely smashing the mixers. And yeah, this time he stayed on. Really cool little common swirly scales. A nice little present before I go to Holland tomorrow morning. Right, I'm back down the lake. Last couple of weeks I haven't fished. I've been filming the masterclass in Holland. That was good fun, been on one of the canals and caught a few nice fish. So that was good, but I'm glad to be back down the lake, I must admit. I got here on Sunday, sort of about 11:30 at night, midnight, that sort of time. Set up in my swim, spotted some bait out to my area, not a lot, just a little bit of boarding crab. And then come the morning, I thought that's when I cast my rods out. So at 9 o'clock, put my rods out. Hit a fish on the way down, wasn't sure if it was a carp or bream. There's quite a lot of bream here and they can be a pain. So yeah, hit a fish on the way down, got the other rod out sweet as well, and then they started to fizz on me. So the odds, real subtle show again, didn't know if it was tench, carp or bream, but I thought it was carp really, you know. And then it really absolutely smashed it down with rain yesterday, with a big low pressure front come in. It looked absolutely awesome, to be honest. Certainly the most severe rain I've been in for a long time. So that sort of livened the fish up a bit, you know. And once the rain stopped and the lake flattened off again, I could see big plumes of fizz coming up over my bait. The fish started to show, and this time I was 100% sure they were carp. You know, I could see them clear as day, and they were probably on just that small patch of bait I put out. You know, they've really got on it. And as it got into dark, you know, I was so confident last night for bite. Surprised not to have got one in the day really. I did have a massive liner during the day. Yeah. Went into darkness and at 5 o'clock in the morning I had a bite. A 25-pound mirror. It's a fish I've had twice before, but you know, this is sort of my first night in the autumn area. I'm going to be fishing. I've had a bite, so I'm happy about that. Can't pick the ones you catch, can you? Yeah, so you can probably see it's right up now. Yesterday, like I say, it was absolutely chucking it down, looked really good. It's now brightened up, don't look anywhere near as good. But I think about 3 o'clock this afternoon, heavy rain's meant to come back in, so just gonna hope it clouds over, and maybe then I'll catch another one. Right, well, the weatherman was right. Rain turned up. Took a little while to arrive, but once it started, you know, it really chucked it down. And I saw a few fish sort of in my swim, one possible like right over the bait. Sort of whilst I was waiting for the rain, got quite windy, and I just saw a few head pokes out there amongst the ripple. But once the rain started, you know, I saw a few, probably 2 or 3 definite shows right over my baited area. And also saw a lot of fish showing around the lake as well. So it felt really good for a bite, and eventually left hand rod melted off, and this is the result. I reckon he's probably 15 pound. Lovely little linear, one of the stockies. Hopefully not the last. It does look really good. Took 3 or 4 casts to get the rod back out, which I'm not too happy about, but buzzing. Right, well, it's turning into one of them sessions where everything sort of seems to be going to plan. I had another one last night, sorry, yesterday evening, common about, I don't know, 14, 15 pound. Got the rod back out sweet, and then hit a big liner, which I was gutted about. Again, got the rod back out, and then not so long ago, I've just had this. You may remember him. He's not that easy to forget. If you've watched any of my other diary pieces, yeah, you'll remember this one. Rare as rocking horse, poo. Yeah, had him twice in a month or so. Can't believe it. But Yeah, I thought I'd show you him just because, well, don't see many like this, do you? Horrible thing really, but it'll do. A bite's a bite. I'm absolutely loving this session. Right, nothing's happened since this morning. I saw that one fish just as I was putting the rods out, and that was about it until 9 o'clock in the morning. I saw another fish show, probably 30-40 yards away from the spot, but sort of in the zone. And I was expecting to keep seeing him. You know, the weather's been much better today. Yesterday morning it was really sunny, no real wind, whereas today it's been overcast, rainy and windy all day. It's looked really good. And I've seen, other than them 2 shows, I've not seen anything. You know, I've had a bit of work to do on the laptop, so I've not been watching as intently as I might normally. But you know, I've certainly had my eyes on the water, and in comparison to yesterday, I was seeing a lot of fish yesterday. It seems dead, you know, not just my spot, but the rest of the lake. You know, I've been cooped up under here, under the bivvy all day because of the rain, watching and seeing nothing really. So, you know, I've got to go in about half an hour, and with the way things are looking, you know, obviously I'd rather stay, don't get me wrong, but I think the spot's probably sort of died a death now, and they would have spooked off, you know. To have had 4 bites is a right result, so I think to get any more than that, I'd be lucky. So home time soon. I'll be back next Tuesday, and until then, I'll be prepping all my bits and bobs up, getting ready, and hopefully we'll have some more of the same sort of action when I come back.